to our program. We are so thrilled that you're here tonight at HCPL. And my name is Melanie Locksmith. I'm the Library Director of the Lone Star College-CyFair Library. We are a joint venture between the Lone Star College-CyFair system and the Harris County Public Library system. I also want to give a big hello and welcome to all of our friends who are joining us online. We are streaming this event live, so thank you all for joining us. I'm not a spoken word poet, so I have a little cheat sheet here, so forgive me for that. So Banned Books Week is the annual celebration of the freedom to read, and it's more important now than ever that we're here because of our shared commitment against book censorship. As many of us know, book bans and their efforts have been ramping up over the past year in unprecedented numbers. Tonight, we are honored that Outspoken Bean is here sharing his time with us and that he has created this original program to share in that commitment with all of us. He has been touring our libraries and has one more stop, tomorrow evening at the High Meadows Branch Library. That program is at 6 p.m., so if you enjoy tonight, please make sure to spread the word. Before we bring him out, I want to let you know a little bit more about him. Outspoken Bean is Houston's Poet Laureate from April 2021 through April 2023. He was born in New Jersey, raised in San Antonio, and is now here in Houston, and we're very excited about that. Bean was introduced to the arts and world cultures at a very young age and has not let go of it. He uses poetry to engage different mediums and institutions to create new and engaging art, such as being the first poet to perform on Houston Ballet's main stage with their production, Play. He has also been commissioned to write and perform a national campaign on diversity for PAC's Blue Ribbon and Vice, while creating and producing his own festival, Plus Fest, the Everything Plus Poetry Festival. He started performing spoken word in 2005, and in 2008, Bean helped develop Texas's largest youth poetry slam organization and a slam team, Metaphor Houston, with Shannon Bugs and Diverse Works. He still coaches and uses it as a vehicle today to mentor Houston's youth. Outspoken Bean is truly a Renaissance man and a culture mirror through poetry. He willingly seeks, finds, collaborates, and creates new ways for people to experience poetry through multiple mediums. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Outspoken Bean.
How are y'all doing? Oh, praise the Lord. How are y'all doing?
Good.
Yeah. Thank y'all so much for coming, for being here. And I'm excited about being here. I'm so excited I endured the travel. You know what I'm saying? I don't miss 2 nights traffic. I went to Prairie Day. Graduated from there a while back. My old professor, one of my favorite people, is actually here. Dr. Jones, man, it means a lot to see you here, man. Thank you so much. And the rest of you, I don't know y'all like that. So get that warm response. What's tonight? Tonight is Tuesday?
Yes.
Right? So, can I be real with y'all? I want y'all sound like a Tuesday crowd. Y'all sound like a Tuesday night crowd, all right? I'm going to require and want a Saturday night crowd. I'm going to want a Friday 5 p.m. crowd, all right? So what that means, right, is you can snap. If I say some lines or I say something that you agree with, right, if you want the energy that I'm going to give to y'all, I want you to give it back, all right, y'all? So you can snap your fingers. Let me see her. Can you snap? You know what I mean? Like in the movies and stuff, right. You can clap your hands, right? Yeah. You can stomp your feet, right? You can stomp, you hear that, you hear y'all stomping, right? You can do all three together and cheer like our Rockets game in the 90s. I love it all the time. Let's hear it. We're here for band passages, reading, and we're going to hear some of my poems, we're going to hear some of my work. You're welcome. And we're going to read some, hear some poetry and read some passages from works that are banned in the schools / libraries, or they may be on the chopping block of being banned, right? I have an issue with like banning books, right? Because it's not that I don't think some things probably should be, but it's the things that probably should be are not the ones that are, and the ones that are usually on the chopping block or are banned. The vast majority reason has something to do with like, it's making my white child feel bad that slavery happened. It's usually something really ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? It's usually something of, it's identifying, something dealing with like things where it's like closing the world that we live in. Does that make sense? Right? So this we live in a very vast and wide world, right? And people experience a lot of things in a lot of ways that's different from you, me, and everyone else. And I feel you should be able to share that story, whatever that story may be, right? And without argument, don't check it out, but it should be available. It should be available. You know what I'm saying? Now you know, age restrictions and such, there's reasons for things. But a lot of times when I see books that are banned, books that are burned, books that are whatever, the reason behind it is usually BS. You know what I mean? And so we're going to read some of those, right? Yeah? Is that cool with y'all?
Yes.
I'm going to start off with a poem that is very, it's like a cover. It's like a cover poem. I know I've never heard those two words together before, but like a cover song. Because it's from a song that's very popular, right? And then I took it and made it my own, right? And I perform it like it's my own, and I don't perform it like Willie Nelson wrote it. Yeah, right? But I'm going to need y'all's requirements. If you have rhythm, I'm going to need you to clap with me. All right, y'all? Okay? If you do not have rhythm, I'm going to need you to watch other people clap with me. Okay? You got the 2 thumbs up? Hey, yeah! You don't have to do that. All right? Okay? Okay? All right? And we'll have a good time. All right, y'all? I want you, my goal today is one, hopefully I can brighten you. Hopefully I brighten your minds and your spirits, right? And I also, because I can be petty with people even if I don't know them, I want you to, when people ask you, or someone asks you, oh, where did you go on this Tuesday night? You can talk about it with so much enthusiasm, so much fun that you came and saw Houston's Poet Laureate, and you can make them feel horrible. That's basically not something to do. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get into it. I'm on these poles again. So happy to be on the stage again. The life I love is sharing poetry with my friends, and I'm so happy to be on these poles again. Y'all, I'm on these poles again. Words, y'all. Words are going in places make the world be our way. And our way is through the poetry. Again, thank you so much. So, a dad in Grapevine, Texas. You know where Grapevine is?
Yeah.
Where is it? Down, near Dallas, you know. So you know it's a problem, you know what I'm saying? So, a dad in Grapevine, Texas, a Dallas suburb, asked his child's school district, and it is pending, to ban this book, a collection of poems by women of color on topics relating to social justice, activism, and discrimination, because he says it promotes terrorism. That's interesting. Y'all want to hear this terrorist poem?
Yes.
So, let me give you some more context. Right? This book is an anthology. You should buy it. It's awesome. It's called Black Girl Magic. It is all women identified either as Afro-Latino or Black or African descent, whether they're from America or America. And it was produced by great poets, and it was edited, the main editor, or editor-in-chief, if you will, is Mahogany L. Brown, or Mo Brown, affectionately known. And it came out probably about 2016, I believe. I bought it around that time. And there's a few people in here who I know, right? The former Poet Laureate of Houston, the name's never moved on, she's in here, she's in here. And who I'm about to read is someone who is from here, Houston. Her name is Ebony Stewart, and I'm going to read her poem called Sway. Y'all ready to hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah! Dear Black girl, you mispronounced wonder. You hand me down strange fruit. You bending trees, splintered and spraying roots in life. You stately poor as in like poor mansion mouth with the stars falling out. You grip, grab, and growl. You hold on, stuck black. You surviving scorched temple sweat. You bob pedal, battle rap body, and graffiti tongue, causing cacophonies. You harmony and hip hop booty legs be standing, be fly, be gathering razor smiles and raging, fists bulging in the back pockets of the long walk home. Be ready, be true to the body of the one of her face, be kicking, screaming, be calling all your pieces back. Be loved, be remembering how you be Black woman. So, been know how, since mama taught you how to make a break and break bread with other great Amazons, curl sway. You balmy oil, beauty making, washes with your hair. You naughty brown black. You darkening, you volcanic laugh. Say, I own myself. Say, I validate me with birth gods. Raise your mama and your mama's mama. Ain't nothing but a man taught. Ain't nothing but a man taught you everything you know good. Oh, anyhow, gospel, oh hallelujah, praise, black girls sway. Even when your bones hurt, when they make you wilt out your name, try to blow out your flame, you be bigger, show them you got that ether, make them burn slow, you be infernal, be progressive, be fan, clap, snap, be shit is magic. You had to be a black girl to understand, show them how it all got started, how the bricks got laid. That this is what happens when the ink well spills, when your ancestors dance worth awake. Dear black girl, sway, swoon. There was one I read yesterday I want to reread for y'all. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
So this week, right, we are going to different Harris County libraries, right? And you know, my gas tank is wondering why I agree to this. Because all of the libraries in Harris County that responded are the farm ones. Are the ones that are not in Houston proper, if you will. Right? But I'm very happy to be here. This poem is called 400 Heats. It is by Destiny O'Birdsong. I did not know Destiny. But I read this poem, I don't know how I missed it before, but I read this poem yesterday for the first time, and it blew me away. And I'm gonna explain why. Like I said, these poems were compiled and put together, Voltron, if you will, back in like 2016, 2017. And what she's talking about is something that happened, unfortunately, this year in a Buffalo supermarket. Here we go. Excuse me, that's not that poem. That's this poem I'm about to read. It's called Phase. It's by Phase and Brim, and it's called Black Prose. This is no indictment. Lines still move. Beer, fresh moon, shorter queue on a rainy afternoon when many aren't lingering on TV screens and decisions. Kwame says the language of death is a dialect of betrayal. Murders, shuffling feet, bright lights, lies, one story, one-sided, someone else's bags, your grocery today, and gives you the news, and gives you the receipt, and it gives you the price of one story, your story, not your story. The store's yellow chains shine here. They are safer in these halls than us when us. Tell me what a man said when he is no longer living and bringing death to all of us. Families stand, lean on each other, lean on themselves, lean away from the walls, placid, the aisles, lining the day. Prices we pay when they run out of grocery bags but still have bags for bodies, y'all. Registers fall silent. Still Snickers the coins. Worth waiting for dimes. Wonder why the belts move so slow and automatic doors don't let cold air in. Coffee, deli, cook now, eat later, now cook, now eat, now cook later. So much can fit in the store selling routine, selling normal. Give me normal, the desperation, his words, too slow, broadcasting live, when hearts already know what lies beneath the explanations and expectations of nations and us. Meaning, hands, whose hands? What time? Who waits outside of ambulance stores? Rewrite the story. Speak it backwards. See the fear. See the blatant codes of the comments. The visibility of holes. Watch for slippery doors. Construct safely in between the canned foods and the butcher. Between the pastas and the flowers. And the flour. Safety between contested rows. You can't leave the streets you don't belong to. And the scanner struggles to digest barcodes anyway. That's crazy how close Buffalo happened so close to each other. This poem, since I said it earlier, I like this one too. And then we're going to get to some. Destiny Old Birdsong, 400 heat. I'm most American when I reach for ketchup as Shantae Miller dives across the finish. I'm blackest when Allison Phoenix collapses on the strap, knees up, concealing her last name in the letters USA emblazoned on her chest. I'm saddest when black women are competing. Because I never know who to root for. That's so dope. Because I never know who to root for. And I'm arrogant to believe that I have to split my loyalty. Famously, which makes me more American again. This is how it feels to be a problem. Hoping that when the country's cameras are trained on your back and you offered them fruited plain of your body, it somehow is enough to quench the parched land where all the fathers keep dying. Each is a breath song trilling in your body and perhaps one day a grand mal convulsion. Just like pomegranate seeds drooling your face, every race is a sub-transaction of flesh, not just to gold, nor bronze, nor a mythical prize, but to the fleeting, nameless moments when a foot finishes the white chalk of a line drawn by somebody else, maybe hashtag magic, maybe a series of unfortunate tremors that mean nothing until you're all dead. Who knows what metals of gods use to forge victory, which is neither sympathy nor love, nor more sacred than the footfall. It's an indescribable glitter, magnified to the millions of eyes that you never blink, y'all. When we're winning, which you too might have misled, although later in the dash cam footage, you'll swear you never saw it. Man, I realize y'all been up there, right? Is this microphone for that, or they're not connected? No. Is this fine if I don't use it, y'all? Yeah? Yay, cool. All right, so, this, I was hoping, even though I didn't have time, I was like, oh, maybe I could say an excuse like, oh, I'm tired or not, or whatever. Because I was hoping I would go into the Buc-ee's, but I couldn't remember where it was. I didn't drive far enough, you know what I mean? It's Hopkins, right? The next Buc-ee's in Hopkins. And why is it mentioning Buc-ee's? Well, I feel that Texas as a state has a holy trinity. And to me, it goes in this order. Whataburger, H-E-B, and then Buc-ee's. You know what I'm saying? Yes, clap for that. Clap sign us up there. But this poem, I think about this poem. It's not about this story, but it's called a short poem. I like it. I reached the point of no return, then I remembered my promise. In making me a customer to my service, that came with non-negotiable terms, targeted as a non-one-one policy that I can't nor won't return myself. When I left the shelf, the top one, I started life. These priceless times have been tagged on me. I have to remind myself to retail. Excuse me. I have to remind myself to retell of myself, not to discount me. I am the manager, on call and general. The question is how I can help you. Well, that's always found on the road with the mirrors. What's new in store has always been in store. The inventory has been barcoded and accounted for. My work is my offer. No, you don't understand. That is my final offer. We have a steal of a deal. Here I am, on or in the aisle. I am no longer waiting for intercoms to announce my call. Thank you. During the night, I feel my moon looks up to me. Even from down here, my moon doesn't judge my gravity because he pulls for me. He knows the power behind preposition, position, and soul between midnight yet before dawn. My moon whispers to me, saying, find a way to keep your head above the clouds while your feet, your soul remains grounded, however, never underneath it, my moon. Always knows what's best for me. Despite wherever I am standing, the best parts of my nearby, somewhere in my insides, my moon dog, is a proclamation. He always knows how to make his exclamation point statement each day coming. Should be seen as an until we are all up on, then go into it. I think it's interesting what going into it when I say that poem, what it can mean. This is the month of last Wednesday was when Amy Winehouse was passed away. Right? And she is a part of a club that I don't think she had any intention of joining. Right? And there's a lot of people, a lot of artists, a lot of like things that I think people like to categorize people in, even in them. I don't think it's necessarily fair, but it does if you understand it. I remember when I turned 27, and I'm 36 now, and thinking about how much life I was excited to experience and to be a part of at 27. It's just wild young, I feel. But Kurt Cobain did not feel that way. We lost Jimi Hendrix, 27. Jim Morrison, 27. Oh Lord, can you buy me a Mercedes? We lost Jared Scott, 27. A lot of people don't know, because you don't get to choose to be in it, right? It's just if you're an artist, that's widely known in your life transitions, no matter how, and you're that age, it kind of reduces you. Houston legend, Fat Pat, he was murdered. And at 27, I had started a relationship that wound up dying later. And then that happened again. And it's hard. Relationships are really, really hard for me to take. And a lot of times what I don't feel that therapy is I don't feel that my music and poetry, I don't feel like it's therapy, but it is therapeutic. And this song has helped me kind of cope with my ideas and feelings a lot. All I can ever be to you is the darkness that we know and this regret I got accustomed to. Once it was so right when we were at our high, waiting for you in a hotel at night. See, I knew I hadn't met my match. Every moment we could snatch. I remember how we got so attached. It's my responsibility. You don't owe nothing to me but to walk away. I had no capacity. See, you walked away. Sun goes down. You took the day, but I am grown and in your way. And this blue shade my tears dried on their own. I don't understand how I've seen this was there when there was so much of my heart's at hand. You know, looking at my heart from the mirror, I remember thinking that the people I know in love were so broken, more so than the ones who were singing all it's simple. To say those 4 letters is easy. To pull the pen's contradiction, but how many of us can claim we have embraced the ticking grenade and claim to take will assure me that love is lost, I'm ready to go out searching for the wreckage y'all I may find. Malaysia, 721, or Amelia Earnhardt, searching for my heart's weapon of love is more being shaped by rusted life rather than being shot by Cupid's arrow. Love happens when it's slow and personal. I broke my heart and my spirit, running along the runaway locomotive. Love's motive is a derailed train from a wreckage. Love is, love this, love that. I need to love me. I need to love me. Like I'm in there playing collision, and I watch every single one of my pieces fall to the earth, and there she was. She decided to walk away. The sun went down. She took the day, but I am gone and your way. In this blue shade, my tears dry on their. This book is called Ghost Boys. And according, I want to guess on the city. Katie? You said Katie? That's a good guess. You know what else? According to a Cypress number. According to a Houston parent. According to a Houston parent. Reading this novel about some black boy killed by police might cause children who attend Spring Branch Independent School District to feel ashamed based on the color of their skin. That's an interesting concept. I wonder where she got it from. This book is, let me give y'all more concept. So, it's called Ghost Boys. And basically what it is where these boys are murdered by police. And this is a fictional story. Stories. They're murdered by police. And their ghosts are seen by someone that was in their community. And they talk back and forth with them to do it, right? So the one I'm going to read to y'all is called Civil Rights. Here it is. This is a passage. I'm going to sit down for this one. It's kind of long. What's that? So, Sarah is the person that is seeing. Sarah's school is much better than mine. I mean, much better than my old school. Her school has trees and track, basketball gym, and a football field. My school has chain link fence and concrete where I ran and played hoops. Her school is mainly white. Mine is mainly black and her school was a library with computers. Mine doesn't even have a library. Being deaf, I see places I've never seen before. See, homes, not high-rise projects, schools, better than I've ever imagined. Who knew that there were schools with computers and science labs, libraries with fluffy pillows and couches? I wouldn't have minded going to Sarah's school. If I had gone to Sarah's school, I would have never been late. I would have never been late or fake being sick, Superlion. I don't think any kid at my school even would make or be the troublemakers. Wouldn't have minded a sky blue painted school with bright lights and clean hallways. The nice librarian, with glasses dangling from her neck, comes towards us, stops, her face puzzled, then steps around me and squeezes Sarah's shoulders. Shouldn't you be in class, Sarah? Sarah doesn't answer. Are you all right? The librarian, Miss Penny, her name tag says, encourages Sarah to sit. I'll call the principal's office and let them know that you're here. No, wait. Miss Penny plops down in the kid-sized chair. She leans forward. Do you want a counselor? I can call Mr. Stevens. No, I just want to sit. Miss Penny leans back. Sits as long as you need. How about forever? Miss Penny pats her hand. You'll get hungry and I think bored. Sarah can't help but giggle and feel lighthearted. I haven't heard laughter in a long time. Sarah stops. In class, some kids talk about what a good cop my dad is. He is a good cop, but he can't be a good cop if he killed a kid, can he? Miss Penny doesn't say a word. She just hugs her. Ask her about Emmett, I whisper. Though Miss Penny can't hear me, Sarah can. Miss Penny, have you ever heard about Emmett Till? No, that's an upsetting case. She gazes blankly into space. You can research it when you get older, she says flatly. Why not now? Yeah, I think I'm feeling proud of something. Yeah, what's wrong with now? You'll learn about Emmett when you learn more about civil rights. When's that? Well, Miss Penny says flustered. It happens a bit by bit during Black History Month and history class, social studies. I'm in 7th grade and I haven't learned about Emmett Till yet. Maybe you shouldn't know about it, at least for now. It's terrible when grown men kill a child, like my dad. Oh, Sarah, I didn't mean, but it's true. I hollered in the librarian's ear. It's terrible when a man kills a child. Sarah looks at me, then looks at the librarian. Jerome died in the city of Chicago, the same city where Emmett Till was born. That's true, but Emmett Till was murdered in Mississippi 60 years ago. So what's the difference? Emmett's death made a difference. His death began the African American civil rights movement. You mean like Dr. Martin Luther King? Yes, but so much more. Desegregation of schools, Brown versus Board of Education, desegregation of trains, buses. You've heard of Rosa Parks, the March on Washington, the Voting Rights Act, so much more, Sarah. You're saying Jerome's death is less important? No, I'm not saying that. I was a young girl just like you when the call for the civil rights went out. And my family was Jewish and we knew discrimination too. All types of people fought for change. In 1955, Mrs. Till was very brave when she insisted on an open casket. She wrote, quote, let the world see what I see. Miss Penny closes her eyes, shakes her head, then sighs. Better to light the candle than curse the darkness. What does that mean? It's a Chinese proverb. It means, I'm going to show you a picture of Emmett Till. I was the same age as you when I saw it. Miss Penny types, casket, and Till in the computer's search bar. Click. I turn away. I don't want to see. Dad is dead. Doesn't matter what the dead looks like. I walk out the library, down the hall, through the front doors. It's a bright sunny day. I hear Sarah song over and over and over. Y'all enjoying yourselves? Yeah. Hopefully y'all learning something. This book was actually given to me at my job. It was given to me at my job. I work for Writers in Schools. It's a nonprofit that sends writers in schools. And like that's like one of my jobs. But I want to say before, like in 2019, so when the world was like regular, we were like, had like my boss, Robin Mueller, had like started a book club, essentially. And she offered this book, How to Be an Anti-Racist. I listened to it on, what's that thing called? Audiobooks, thank you. And also, like audiobooks, y'all know audiobooks, right? Yeah, so just in case, you know what I mean, if you're like, oh, I would check out a book, but I don't like to read with my eyes, I like to read with my ears, right? They do audiobooks, right? Y'all, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know where I want to start with this one. Because I haven't read it to anyone here yet, or on this tour yet. I knew I wanted to. But y'all seem like a cool crowd. Is that all right with you? So I'm gonna start at chapter 9. But y'all want to hear what the parent had to say first? In asking to ban this non-fiction book about resisting racism in Ames, Texas, Ames, Texas, parents suggested replacing this book with copies of the Bible. All right. Well, fine. I mean, we got both, right? All right, here we go. So this one is chapter 9, color. I'm gonna read a little bit and then get into some poetry. Is that cool with y'all? Yeah, my poetry. Colorism, a powerful collection of racist policies that lead to inequities between white people and dark people, supported by racist ideas about light and dark people. Anti-color, anti-racism, a powerful collection of anti-racist policies that lead to equity between white people and dark people, supported by anti-racist ideas about light and dark people. My voice created and creaked like an old staircase. My arms flailed sluggishly as I stood on the highest of the 7 hills in Tallahassee, Florida. I wasn't tired from the climbing that September day in 2000. I'd been on campus for a few weeks, and the school spirit had already mounted me and worn me out just as it did thousands of people around me. My fellow rappers of Florida A&M, we called our school FAMU, pronounced as FAMU, right? It looked like a Bragg Stadium football scoreboard. FAMU 39, Morgan State 7. Also, before I continue, I went to Prairie View, which is right down the street. So the pride that I hear in reading this, I have the same Right? Anyway, we're gonna keep going. I looked again at Bragg Stadium Football School, where FAMU 39, Oregon State 7, but I had no time to rest my tiring arms and screens. Halftime's approach. I should have saved my energy, but as a freshman, I did not know any better. I had never seen a performance by a marching band, the Marching 100, and the high-stepping choir of FAMU, arguably, this is a big arguably the most accomplished marching band in history. That's a big argument. And certainly the most intimidating marching band in the land. Super big argument. I'm biased, but I see my receipts. William P. Foster had just retired after 52 years of raising what Sports Illustrated dubbed the best college marching band in the country. FAMU band members hit the Grammy Award stage in 2006, but nothing compared to that Super Bowl in 2007 when I bragged incessantly and danced horribly on as my friends and I watched the Marching 100 play for Prince. Back in 2000, the Marching 100 confused me on the first sight of the first quarter. Winter cloth and thick pants and long-sleeved orange and green and white uniforms, adorned with capes, towering hats. They made me hot just watching them roast in the Florida sun. They played off the heat like jam sessions between players, but nothing prepared me for what I was about to see at halftime. My roommate, Clarence, stood next to me. Clarence and I arrived at FAMU from different places, had come running from different trails that converged in a friendship. Him, an academic titan from Birmingham, Alabama, me, an academic minion from up north. My darling, untethered ideas complemented the methodical analysis. My fuzzy sense of self and direction embraces clarity. Clarence considered FAMU a pit stop on a mapped out trail to the top law school in corporate law and wealth. I consider FAMU an inclusive Black community to explore and find myself. My explorations amused Clarence, but nothing entertained him more than my eyes. Clarence, hazelnut skin, marched his hazel eyes and eye color that is rare for anyone around the world, but most commonly found among people of Southern and Eastern European heritage, not African Americans. When I first saw his light eyes, I assumed they were fake. It turned out his genes provided him with what I would have to buy. Before writing at FAMU, I started wearing honey contact lenses, or orange eyes as my friends call them. My colored contacts were hard to miss on me. Hazel contacts were perhaps the most popular colored eye lenses among Black folks, but I picked one shade even lighter. It seemed okay to me to play with my eye color. I knew some Black people who wore blue or green contacts, which I thought was shameful. I saw them, but not me, as a straining to look white. Above my orange eyes, Clarence did not see how haircuts sometimes with the fading up to the backsides all times and brush flattening in the kinks and struggle to stand the band and freedom before the next killer haircut. I started cornrolling my hair in college, twisting them up into small knots or letting the kinks stretch out, hardly caring that racists judged these hairstyles as unprofessional, uniformed as thug. My cornrows signified an anti-racist idea. My honey eyes was more of a catapult of assimilation. Together, they graded an assimilationist and anti-racist ideas of my dueling consciousness. Did I think my honey eyes meant I was striving to be white? No way. I was simply refining a cuter version of myself, which studies show is an explanation of most buyers of artificial eyes, complexion, hair, and facial features. I never asked myself the anti-racist question, why? Why did I think lighter eyes were more attractive on me? Did I truly want them? I wanted to be black, but I did not want to look black. I looked up to the new post-racial beauty ideal, an outgrowth of the old white beauty ideal, lightening eye color, killing kids, lightening skin color, thinning or thickening hair features, all to reach an ideal we did not label white. This post-racial beauty idea is lightness, this race of lighter skin and eyes, straightened hair, thinner noses, semi-thick lips, and buds, perceived as biracial or racially ambiguous. The dueling consciousness of anti-racist pride is one own race, and the desire to be another race stirs in the paradoxical post-racial beauty idea. It is simultaneously inclusive, multiracial, multicultural, and new, while remaining exclusive, Eurocentric, and old-fashioned. It is white beauty repackaged with dark hair. I had no idea my light eyes embodied the latest form of colorism, a term coined by the novelist Alice Walker in 1983. The post-racial beauty ideals hides colorism, veiled and enthusiasm. Colorism is a form of racism. To recognize colorism, we must first recognize that light people and dark people are two distinct racialized groups shaped by their own histories. How much time?
Like 10, we've been here 55.
Cool. So, I wrote this poem for you, sir. What's your name? Jerry. I knew it started with it was on the tip of my tongue, Jerry. Jerry. Jake. I wrote this poem for you. I'm gonna ask your name? CJ. CJ. I wrote this poem for you too. I wrote this poem for both of you equally. I wrote this poem for each person in this room, all you beautiful persons, people. We are extraordinary. Living among the ordinary who believe that ties, all ties, hang around the white collar or blue. My class is not your home room. I am a match. I burn at both ends. I just don't burn for you. We are regular people. All my hair is a number that carry 10 digits in my pockets. I was given a pair of stare, and I wear them in my sockets. I am a person, not a people. We speak the same language, even if it's not the same language. That's when the universal language of body movement comes in. I used to say 10% of my brain as we do. I wanted to use the other language so I could soak some groove. I woke up early in the morning to catch 7:30 flights, flew halfway around the world, the land, and in the night, climbed halfway up the mountain, got halfway to the village. When I reached the guru, he touched me and replied, "You're a different person. You live long, living days, but you're created the same way, of the same basis, using the same clay. You are regular people. We are regular people. You are the star and child of Adam in Ethiopia. You are the rich king of Moria, the cornucopia. You are people." Well, excuse me, Mr. Sharman. Man, I traveled a long distance to try to find some solutions, and now I found a man with all the answers. You're only adding to my confusion. I don't want to just one of people. No, I want to ride out there to the top until I have no people. I want to see that's what I'm doing. It's cold, desolate, run, yes, I'm forever. I tug, you tug, as a reminder to what strands of what's alive and is included. You die, you are, I am, we are. He is, she is, they are, you are. Free flowing molecules that can define the universe. Your stanza, the mantra, the word, the free verse, passports, they once through the seas when you walk your whole emotion. You are, I am, we are. Seeds deeply rooted in the forest of poetry. Let my limbs reach. Read my knees and allow them to teach you. Gather your bones on the way to the summit, toss them, let them, delete and plummet followed your way on top of the mountain. See, while you were on your way up, I was on my way down. That's how we met in the middle, because you can't figure out the middle of the way to escape the people is to become the people. So when you speak to the people, you don't have to agree with the people, because come on, you know how people be. You show them the truth, but you know how people see. You teach them good morals, and they still may choose impurity, so choose. What is your choice? Don't worry about your flaws so quickly. We're all equal, and I heard your people can build battle like tyrants. And I heard your people were crafters of steeples together. Our people can build cathedrals one person at a time, because we are all regular people. Thank you so much. So happy to be on the stage again. The life I love is sharing poetry with my friends. And I'm so happy to be on these poems again. Y'all, I'm on these poems again. Hoping Willie Nelson will become my friend. The life I love is sharing poetry with my friends. And I'm so happy to be again with you all. And I'm so happy to share my craft again. And I hope to be able to share some poems. I believe this is the part where we do a question and answer, right? And so if you have any questions, I have a lot of answers. They may not be right. And so the other books that I have, so we have Black Girl Magic, The Bluest Eye, by Tom Watson, How to Be an Anti-Racist, Ghost Boys, and Ground Zero. Ground Zero is by Alan Watts. Yeah, there you go. I put these here. Yeah, so yeah, any questions y'all may have? Yes.
Did this begin, you're doing a festival of everything plus poetry?
Yeah, plus fest.
When is that? What is that?
It doesn't exist anymore. The last one was 2019, but what it was, it does exist. I'll explain how. It does, but I'll explain how. So, it was the idea was so how I made a career in poetry, being like a poet, right, and getting money for the services I do is I collaborate with a lot of people. I collaborate with artists that are not in my field, with visual artists, with musicians, singers, producers, people in tech. I do a lot of different things, chefs, and I decided that I wanted to create an event, a day or maybe even 2 days, where people can kind of experience poetry with something else. So I had like poetry and film, right? It was a film, like it was actually like the stewards, and it was great. It was all these different things I pulled together to do. Like there was a chef that would tell stories as he cooked, and then I did it 3 years. The reason why the last time I did it was in 2019, and I had an idea to do it again in 2020. I had this idea, another idea of, oh man, I want to produce a book, but I want it to be a coloring book, which I don't have. I ran out, sold it, and I don't have it over or something like that. But I was like, I want to create this coloring book, but this was my poetry. And I didn't have another time to do it other than when I would do Plus Fest. So I was like, well, I won't do Plus Fest in 2020. This is in 2019. So I made this decision before the pandemic. I was like, let me not do Plus Fest. And let me put all the energy that I put into Plus Fest into my book. Like, let me write grants and do that whole process. Everything that I did for that, and put that into my book so I can have like a great, rollout, if you will. And then 2020 happened. I just haven't done it again. But here's how it is. That skill of me doing that 3 years and putting it together, and also, like I said, I collaborate with people. This year, I was hired by, I don't know if you've heard of Post downtown. It's like a big, it's the old Barbara Jordan post office. It's now a food court, and like people go in there whole day. Well, they commissioned me to do a festival for them it was called Black is Primary. They hired me at a consulting fee to put that together, which was pretty much my Plus Fest festival. And I'll actually be doing that again next Juneteenth next year. I also work with I also did a festival called Blitzen Black Fest, which is in February, and it was with Contemporary Art Museum. So I'm doing that again with them. So those are two things. When I leave, if I can get you off emails, I can put you on my email list, and that's the best way to follow me. So I'll be doing those two festivals as well. And I'm doing another one at Discovery Green. I just can't speak on it yet, but there'll be another one. So producing so Plus Fest prepared me to do this stuff. Yeah, but it was great. Sorry you missed it. Yeah, so another question?
When did you start writing poetry? Your kid?
So my brother, no, yeah, I was a kid, it was rap first. I'm the youngest of five. And my siblings are all 10, 15 years old. My oldest brother, he rapped. When we would go to New Orleans, that's where I came from. Everyone from New Orleans except me. My dad would get my hair, let my hair look crazy until we went to my brother's house, right? And he would give me a haircut. And he was the first person I would ever see that wasn't on TV that rapped, and I thought it was cool and good. And because it was my big brother, I was just shy. But as soon as he cut my hair, I would go in the bathroom. I always rush to go in the bathroom. I would rap in the bathroom. But I never told him. I did get a chance to tell him before he died. I got a chance to tell him that. But that was probably my first. My mom always forced me to get into church and talk. You know what I'm saying? I hated doing it because she was making me do it. But I didn't really have a problem doing it. But that's probably the first time I was trying to craft writing that could be something, because yeah, so that's my thing. Yeah. All right. Okay, so I guess I filled all questions. Yes.
What was the first piece of poetry or poetry collection that awakened the poet in you, or made you say, I know, I want to be?
Oh, there isn't one piece, but I clearly have to do a poetry to get girls, man. That was my goal, right? But one of the first people who, I see investment not necessarily as money a lot of times. I don't see investment as money. I see investment as time, right? If someone gives you time, right? And right there was, he knew I did poetry. I had Dr. Jones' class, and he was like, come on the classes to do poems. You know what I mean? We had lessons, we had things, and I would do it. And that was my first taste of performing in front of an audience that necessarily wasn't there for me, because even if I would go to the open mics, they're there for poetry, you know what I mean? With Dr. Jones, who's a great teacher. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they may not, I was nervous, but I did it. And that was like my first, like, oh, this is like seeing, like, performing in front of large groups like that. And it helped build that kind of confidence. But the first poem, I don't know. Maybe, are you asking like the first poem that I wrote or like the first poem that I heard
That you heard or read that?
So one that I heard, right? Maybe it would be I mean Nas is something I would dissect, the rapper Nas. I would just dissect his stuff for hours. I would print it out. I would print out his like whole album, you know what I mean, on lyrics.com or whatever, and just dissect every line. When I was in high school, and it's like we had to write a paper on anything. It was always Nas. It was always him. They were like, oh, you gotta choose an American writer. I was like, he's American. This is my boy. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yeah. So, and then also like I was known as a person that would do freestyle rap in high school too. But like that was like rapping. I guess I switched from rapping to doing poetry because of like just like I got the blood with spoken word and so Saul Williams is someone I still look up to. Sonny Patterson is still one of my favorite writers. One of my favorite poets. Buddy Wakefield is one of my favorite poets. He's from here actually. Mark Bamuthi Joseph. I'm inspired by him in a lot of ways because he's not only a great poet, but he does a lot of like festivals and organizing and stuff like that. He uses poetry to go into other spaces, which is something I always like admire in people who I knew were poets, and you know, like I wasn't until like 25 until I heard the word laureate. I didn't even know what that was until like I was an adult. and Houston said, oh, we're starting the Poet Laureate program. I was like, oh, cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know that was a thing. And then when I started looking it up, I was like, oh, that's fine. Everyone's like, I don't care. Like, I didn't care about it. I didn't know it was like, and like, it was all people that I just didn't see. Now, what's interesting about the Poet Laureateship is like, so many people who are getting it in these different spaces, who are young, who are people of color, and who are just like who are millennials, and they're like, and even like Gen Z, just very young. I'm at work, you know what I'm saying? Like looking at these things of like a representation. I answered more questions than you asked. I'm sorry. Can I see your hand up? No, sorry. Yes, something.
Okay. Two questions. First one is, what is your writing process?
Sure. The first one, so I try to write something every day. That I don't always need it, but I try to write something every day. I do not believe in waiting for inspiration. I feel I have to chase it. So a part of that chasing is writing every day. But I also, same coin, I also don't believe in like overworking my brain in creativity. You know what I'm saying? Because like the brain needs to rest, it needs to think about it. Like if you work out, you have to let your muscles rest, and that's how they get, you know, defined and such like that. And so like I apply that same concept. So I try to write something every single day, and when I'm a good boy, I may go a whole week where I write at 9 a.m. every morning in the same place. That's like that's awesome. But that don't really happen. You know what I mean? But I try to write something every day, and then compile it, and then I may come back to it. So I just my will is to borrow a bite at a time. It's how I write. Yeah. That's my writing process. Yeah.
And the subsequent question is one that's going to take you all the way back.
Yes.
When Michael Dyson came through.
Yeah.
Now, who are your top 5 MCs of all time?
Album line?
Uh,
Album line?
who are your top
Yeah, for sure. That's pretty simple. Nas is still my one, and I love Nas so much because he keeps creating. He's near 50, still near 50 or 50, and he's still writing, and he's still good, and he's still doing it. I remember my dad used to say ignorant shit like it was like, if you look at Rolling Stones, there's no one in hip hop doing that. It's a young man's day. And I'm like, yeah, because rock and roll was stolen from black people. Of course, hip hop is new anyway. So, Nas is still my number 1. Scarface is still up there, just because of how he doesn't, even though he doesn't create as much anymore, but his storytelling and how he pulls you in, how he's so vivid. I love the more intimate retrospective version of Scarface, Brad Jordan, when he's, because I identify with that a lot. Andre 3000, he don't create at all. But I really like his, I like how he puts things together, how he puts his words together is insane. On the technical mindset, technical voice and structure, and writing. Someone newer who I like, and it's not necessarily in the top 5, because a lot of my top 5 they just stopped recording most steps and stuff like that. But someone who's newer who I really dig a lot. When I say new, I very good. His name is Spino. He's from St. Louis, and again, it's I see a lot of Andre in that. Anything Spino puts out on it instantly, and again, it's also very introspective work. Who else I would say? This is going to be an oxymoron, but I'm gonna say it because because I do love that. It's just she created the perfect album. Lauryn Hill created the perfect album, and did it herself. Majority did it herself. It's especially the writing of the words. That's her voice. And so those 5 people in the hip hop sphere, I can just listen to all the time. I wouldn't say they're my top 5, but they have a massive impact. Tupac, so I would listen to Tupac yesterday. I love Tupac and how he's probably the most influential person on me as far as impact, as far as the work and the creativity and the writing and all forms. So there we go. Yeah. Yes.
With so many books right now being banned in Texas, how did you decide on these 4 or 5?
That's a really great question. So this one I had already. I had this one already, right? And this one I had already, Black Girl Magic. And so when I literally went online and looked up books that are banned in Texas. And then I found those quotes. It was the top 27 books that are banned. Or whatever, or acts or whatever. And with the quotes. And I was shocked to see 2 of the books that I had on there. And there's others, wow, that's wild. And so I had those 2 already. So I was like, okay, that's a good start. All right, I don't have to worry about that. And then these 3, first off, Toni Morrison, I knew a lot of her books were being banned. You know, Toni Morrison was alive. People trying to ban her books then. Hey, like, you know, so Prairie View has started a writing program, a creative writing program, that I was a part of in Prairie View. It's called the Toni Morrison Creative Writing Program. And so I was like, okay, I want to do a Toni Morrison book. And I saw The Bluest Eye was on that list. And the reason for that one, if y'all want to hear it, is this classic novel by Nobel Prize winning author Toni Morrison should be banned from schools, according to a parent from Fort Worth suburb, Burkeville, because it includes graphic description of rape. And that blew me away because I distinctly remember reading The Great Gatsby. I distinctly remember in school reading Salem Witch. I distinctly remember like hearing all those books got banned. Like they all have to be consistent. Anyway, so it's not that. It's her. They have about her and what she's writing about, the experiences she's writing about. And they're not white-centered. She's deliberately not white-centered. That's what they have a problem with, but they won't say it. Anyway, so I run into that, so I was like, what you say? This one, Ground Zero, I hadn't read it yet. But I chose this book and I went and bought these three. These three I went and bought, like when I purchased for this. And the reason why I chose this book is because the quote actually interested me. A parent in Prosper, Texas, said this novel, which tells the story of 9/11 and its aftermath from the dueling perspectives of an American boy and an Afghan girl, should be removed from schools because it depicts American soldiers as callous, evil, and as terrorists. And the author mentions the racial or ethnic identities of every single character. That's why they're class. How do you walk around in life? But I've read that quote and I was like, ooh, that sounds interesting. I'm gonna buy that. So that's how I got that one. And Ghost Boys, I wanted a YA book. I wanted to pick a YA book. And I wasn't sure which one I was going to get. And then when I read like the concept of what this book was, I thought that was really fascinating. And it was actually like passages, like it's the only one that's like actual passages. And so I was like, oh yeah, I think this would be a pretty good book. It's a pretty cool concept, so I can bite my teeth there. Maybe I'll get that in person. So that's how. Thank you for asking. Whew. Yeah. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank y'all.
Thank you.
What's up now, right?
It's still live right now, yeah.
Yeah, it's still live. Hey, what's up, y'all? Are there any questions in the chat?
No. But if you want to say bye to them, you can do it right now.
Peace, y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.